Today I'm reacting to part of a video called "Is Being Fat a Choice?" I'm just looking at this from the perspective of health, mindset, discipline, and personal responsibility. You know, um, I can talk about this, you guys, because I've been there, right? I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've had health problems, I've had surgeries, right? I just had surgery this year, right? And I've gotten out of shape, and I had to get myself back into shape, right? Right now, I'm getting myself back on track again because my schedule changed a little bit this year based on, the having to go through a procedure. Um, but you know, I just want you guys just to learn from these guys, So bear with me for a second, while I try to move through this first part of this video. I'm gonna start it from the beginning so you can see it, and then I'm gonna scan forward to the parts that I'm gonna discuss. Okay, let's. I want to see what you guys think as we react to this one. Okay, here we go.
The next prompt is, being fat is a choice. If you agree, please step forward. All right, begin.
I think I'll start with my situation. For me, I did gain overweight and I started losing it since. But for me, my grandma passed away and I turned to food as comfort. In that case, it was a choice because I chose to eat that food. I chose to eat junk food and turn towards it for comfort. But now that I noticed that I was a little bit overweight, I decided to make a change and try to help my health a little.
And I commend you for making that change. A lot of people don't make that change. They live with that, and then that just becomes their life. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be.
And and everyone's situation is different. We don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And sometimes they could turn to, maybe it could have been drugs or something else.
Whatever is their comfort. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the whole thing. Is like people live a certain way for a certain period of time. They think, oh, that's me. That I'm incapable of being any different because this is all that I've known. Mm-hmm. So they claim that they have these like worldly limitations on themselves that they're not able to.
So, yeah, I don't want to cut it off and ruin the video, but I just wanted to stop at that part right there because, yeah, you see what he's saying, yeah, I mean, I've lost a lot of people in my life, yeah, and it's tough. And the movies tell you, oh, go drink alcohol and stuff. No, that makes it way worse, right? And then what we do is we're going to eat some food, right? We're gonna find some good sugar, right? We're gonna eat that, right? I get it, and we're gonna gain some weight. We're not gonna care as much because we're just sad, right? But those are the times when we need to really just put it together. We need to make this happen. I had surgery. I gained weight. I've lost weight. And all that. But the thing is what I've learned when things happen in your life. No, 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 no. You don't stop that ever. That's not acceptable. I don't care who it is. Okay. So it sucks, but you got to go fight your way through it. Okay. And I know it's hard, but I've been through it. So I'm talking from experience, you guys. Okay. You know, but if your eating gets sloppy, you can work out and um, still gain fat. That's what happened to me with the surgery I had. I was working out after my surgery after I was able to, and then I tried to change my diet back to where it was, but I wasn't allowed to because when you're healing, sometimes you got to eat more food. You can't really intermittent fasting. I wasn't allowed to do it for my surgery. Okay, so then I gained a couple pounds because you got to feed the healing. When they cut through your abdominal wall, like women that have babies, right? I had umbilical hernia surgery, right? So they had to cut through my abdominal wall, and that takes like a year apparently to heal. So, but my main point is that you got to have your diet in check, you guys. It's not going to work. These guys, the way they look, they have their diet on point. That's the whole reason. Okay, let's see the next part of the video.
The person they want to be, whether it's like fat or skinny or rich or whatever it is, and they just accept that they can't do it because they're lazy, which is
think
what it comes down
change
to.
is
We can
possible,
always
small steps at a time to reach a bigger goal.
People that don't believe being fat is a choice are not the most intelligent, in my opinion, because basic thermodynamics says if you eat less calories than you burn, you're gonna lose weight. Like, you can eat less calories. It just, is it difficult? Yeah, it's very difficult to do because your metabolism is screwed up and you have these intense cravings. But at the end of the day, if you choose to ignore science and information, then you're just choosing to be ignorant and you're choosing to have the health effects that you have, in my opinion.
I'll say in many cases, what you're saying is the reason why I sat down. I believe it revolves around a person's discipline and their belief structure.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really all I wanted to say. You pretty much said all the things I wanted to say about it being a choice, because in certain cases, maybe it's, but I mean, if you just don't give a damn and I'm going to eat everything and I'm not going to work out and then also blame other people for your problems and all this and
Unless
that.
someone's forcing food down your throat and you're pumping food into your stomach,
Then you're choosing to be fat.
then you're choosing to be fat.
Okay. So I don't know what you guys think about that. Leave me a comment, but so the fit guys, what I've noticed in some of these guys' comments, I've noticed that the way they speak is not all of them, but they're kind of being disrespectful because they say, "Oh, you're," the way they say ignorant, right? Or the one guy said, I think he said, he called them he was saying that they were, not very smart. They're not smart people, right? And that's not true at all, right? But the one guy said something powerful on the right side. The last guy on the fat side, right? He said he's thick, right? Which is funny, but he said that it's based on your discipline, and I guess the knowledge, right? You're talking about. So that's what it's all about. That's why I created this channel. Now you guys are going to be able to know. This whole channel is all about that. You can find all the information on here about, and you can even have the workouts and the food plans, and they're already there for you to start now. But it's not easy at first. Just get through the first 2 weeks or month, and you guys will be good to go, right? I've had to rebuild myself so many times, you guys, but I start myself always with the decision, I'm not accepting this. Okay. I'm going to change. I'm going to get myself back to where I was. Our choices matter. You can just make a simple change for that choice, right? That's it. Okay. I'm not going to eat this morning. I'm going to have my coffee or my water or my tea because I have to wait because I'm fasting right now, right? Or, I'm not going to eat this big old sugar bomb thing. Instead, I'm going to have this other sugar bomb, but it's not so bad for me, right? There's ways you can do it, right? The food portions, well, I work out so I can eat a lot. If you like to eat a lot, then work out a lot, right? Or work out. Not a lot, but I mean, 4 or 5 days a week is probably good to build muscle and to use that food, but it's all about discipline. And there's no discipline. I'm disciplined because I've been disciplined for so long. I don't even know it's discipline. I just know I have to go. I don't have a choice. I don't want to, I don't believe in insulting or shaming people, right? No, but helping them learn. I didn't know. When I didn't know, I was 40 pounds heavy all the time, right? 30 or 40 pounds heavy, right? So now I know. And then when I was cool, because when I got the fat off, now I'm looking like the guys on the left, except I even had bigger muscles, right? So these guys look great on the left, right? They're really fit, but I also have built muscle too. So I say the guys on the right, I have a metabolism more of the guys on the right, but I won't let myself get too far out of shape anymore, right? I think, like I said, the most I've been is 40 pounds heavy. But the thing about the guys on the right compared to the guys on the left is that the guys on the right have that, they have that metabolism that is slower, but if they can figure it out, then they can build muscle like I can. The guys on the left, if you're too skinny, it's hard to build those muscles sometimes, right? And that's why those guys do steroids and stuff. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying, for me, it's easy. All I got to do. Now, if I'm too skinny, it's hard to build the muscles up again. For me, it works. I had my surgery in January. I started working out. I think it was like a few months later, right? Really light. And then I started taking my creatine. And then all that fat I had, I started burning it off and turning it into muscle. But then I started eating too much because I was working out and I was starting to feel good. And then I realized that I was like, oh my God, what just happened? I can't button my pants right now, right? And that was just 2 months of eating. So it can build up super fast, you guys. So you guys need to hear the truth, right? People need to hear the truth, but they also need a plan. And that's the point, right? The cool thing about this video, if you guys want to watch the whole thing, is that the guys on this video, the way guys talk, right? We're pretty blunt with each other, right? And we might take offense a little, but we really don't. We're just guys. Guys, that's how guys talk to each other, right? So it's kind of good. I'm gonna finish reacting to this video in the next couple videos, right? But I'm also gonna do one on the women. I saw one on the women that I'm gonna do. The same video, kind of, and it's called "Is Fat Being a Choice?" Right? And from what we learned today, um, it looks like the fitness guys just have a little bit different way of thinking. Like the guy said, they have a little bit different. They're disciplining themselves in this area, but the guys on the right are disciplining themselves in other areas, but not this area, right? So if they can just make a little tweak to their day, their plan, make a plan, then they can, like the one that lost his grandma. Yeah, that guy, right? He seems to he's already making the change, right? Just the last thing, yesterday my mom came over for dinner and she was like, well, I said, no, I'm doing my intermittent fasting. She goes, yeah, but you don't need to do that. And I said, Mama, yes, I do. And she's like, no. And I showed her my belly. And she's like, you don't even have a belly. I said, yes, I do. Because I know if I don't do it now, first of all, I got to button my pants. I'll be buttoning my pants in like a week. It doesn't take that long once you get it going. But for you guys, if you guys are out of shape, right, it's going to take longer, of course, but it'll happen. You just got to don't think about it. Just put the plan, write it down. I have videos on that. Download the intermittent fasting or the food plans and download your workout, whichever one you want. You can pick a strength training. You can pick a weight loss, if you want to build muscle or if you want to, basically I have all those on there for you. I designed them. They're pretty good. I'm a strength trainer, I do food coaching also. So anyway, check it out and, you can download them, but anyways, stay tuned for the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the channel so other people can learn from this channel. And have a great day.